Hello, welcome to the Reloading Podcast here on the Firearms Radio Network. Tonight, nothing special, nothing spectacular. It's episode 201. So now we're starting to the next climb, to the next major episode. Anyway, so it's good to have Jason back. He had a very, very, very important reason to be gone last week, so we will not give him crap for such things. Let's just say he was probably chief sandwich maker. We'll leave it at that. Jim might be joining us shortly. He was out running errands, so if not, then he's a super slacker. So, but yeah, so episode 201. They're into some email questions. I was thinking about starting Shot Shell, but I think we'll hold off on that for now. So, you know, I wonder if people realize just how many times I say because I edit most of them out of the podcast and I just get pissed about it. So, but it's kind of funny. Did you ever realize that, Jason?
I did not.
Yeah. I think I say about as much as you clear your throat. So we got to thank some people. Got to thank Jake and Ryan over at Patriot Patch Company because they make awesome patches. I have not gotten my May patch of the month yet, but it's gonna be awesome. And I've seen the drawings of it, and it's pretty sweet. So if you haven't seen it yet, you can go to patriotpatch.co and get a look. Definitely awesome. And thanks Sean and everybody over at Firearms Radio Network. By the time this posts, I will be back from NRA, so I'm not going to really talk anything about NRA. But for those of you who are live and paying attention to this, shoot me a chat, either post in the chat or send me a Facebook message or send me a text via 608-467-0308 what you want me to go check out when I'm there. I'm only going to be able to be there on the floor Saturday and possibly part of Sunday morning. So, but, so let me know. YouTube is really cranky at the beginning of the podcast. So you're better off, especially if you hop into the chat, you're better off refreshing right away. Once I go live, as soon as you see my ugly mug, just hit refresh. So I don't know. It's just some hang up with going live that it just screws up. So, I don't know. I don't know if it's just ours or not, because I usually don't tune into most of the rest of them live. So, but, yeah. So gonna have kind of a listener meetup on Saturday afternoon, I guess. There's nothing really firm. It's going to be more, or Saturday evening, which is going to be the TGC, which is the Gun Collective. They're doing another panel discussion this year. And so we're going to kind of have something around that for Firearms Radio Network, but nothing really official to my understanding because there wasn't really a venue that we could find close that would work. So that's kind of the situation on that. So if you go to, I want to say if you go to We Like Shooting's main page, not that they've got it posted on there a few times. Also, you can go to the Gun Collective on Facebook and check that. I don't know if Sean's putting anything on the actual FRN homepage or not, the actual web page or not. So I haven't seen anything there yet, but that doesn't mean it won't be. That's kind of all that. Excuse me. Hello, Jim.
Hey, I don't know why my
earbuds aren't working. Sorry about that. Sorry I'm late, guys. Meanwhile, I dropped stuff all over the house.
Myself. Whoops. Now he's muted. That's better. Okay. Anyway. Enough of that silliness. So, tonight, by the way, we currently have 275 entries for the Reading T7. So, that's where we're at. That so far.
Yeah, I don't really care, Mike.
I know you don't, because you can't win it. Oh, in case anybody hasn't seen it, I was going to mention this in a bit. So we've got a couple of new Patreons. So look for that in the show notes. But I was going to mention that Leaf finally has their new press available for sale. Basically, it looks like they re-engineered the Pro 1000 to actually be an effective press. I get an email from Titan Reloading every month, their newsletter, and he covers different topics every month. This month, it happens to be talking about that because it's the brand new press. So, yeah, it's from what I've seen, it looks pretty interesting. I've seen it for like $107 for a progressive. So, yeah.
Are we going to be getting one to try out?
Yes, we will be.
I learned on a Pro 1000.
Yeah.
It wasn't fun for me, but I'm not against them.
Yeah, the Pro 1000 is kind of really horrible. So, this is called the Auto Breech Lock Pro, is the official name for it. Kind of describes some stuff. The other thing is Lee is now selling their universal case feeder separately, instead of having to just buy it as an add-on part. But it is a progressive. So it says announcing a new concept, an automatic reloading press is a true progressive press for less than the cost of a premium single stage. So easy to use, no adjustments. View quick start. I'll unbox it and everything live. So it looks like it's got a head that you can change out like you can with the Loadmaster. So it's got a nice roller handle. Hi, Jim. Looks like you're finally getting set there.
Sorry, guys.
Oh, that's okay. So it's actually, from what I've heard, it's actually pretty smooth. Setup's pretty easy. But like I said, I am going to make a run out to Titan and pick one up because I want to go out and see his new shop and stuff. I still haven't made it out there. So I don't think that's going to happen this week, though. I'll probably do it when I get back from NRA sometime next week. Run out there, grab that, and do an unboxing on it and kind of put it through its paces. So we're talking about the new Auto Breech Lock Pro, which is Lee's new progressive press. Jim, you there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're kind of quiet.
I muted myself 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, I know. I muted you like twice too. See?
Sorry.
No, you're fine.
Anyway, so Lee's got a new auto Breech Lock Pro, a progressive press. You have any pictures of it?
Yeah. Just the ones off their website. So it kind of looks similar to a Pro 1000 as far as just kind of looking at it. But the depriming goes down through the RAM into a tube, so you can have your little bucket sitting underneath it without having to jimmy rig anything.
I filled one of those.
I want to see if anybody else has got more than one picture. So, but yeah, it's kind of the one thing I know a heads up before NRA to see anything else that's new. So, oh, Jim, as I was saying, we've got over 275 entries already.
Yeah, I get them. I get them in the reloading podcast side of my Gmail inbox.
Yeah, I just
no worries.
I just turned off the notifications is what I did. So
yeah. Yeah, one time I saw over 1,000 messages unread in that particular inbox.
Yeah.
That's all right. 275 entries. Well, that's pretty good. Aren't we going to draw tonight?
No. I am going to be drawing that live from the Reading booth at the NRA show.
Oh, okay. That's right. You said that. You said that last week when Robin was on with us.
Yep. And it looks like the one picture. So,
hey,
anyway.
Jason, how you doing?
Doing good, Jim. How about yourself?
Same.
Do you need to shave, Jim? Do I see stubble?
Yeah, you do.
Dude, you're getting lazy in your older age.
You got a lot of room to talk, stubble face. Your stubble's 3 times as long as mine is.
Yeah, but I've always been like this.
Yeah, well, that's still no excuse, you bum.
Him just fuzzy.
The reason I actually started doing this is because my dad used to tease me about, you need to shave. You need to shave. And so I'm a little bit stubborn. So I would.
Really?
Yeah, a little bit.
Just a little bit stubborn?
Gosh.
I've encountered your stubbornness a time or 7. There's ways to work around it, but you know what? I've only found one.
What's that?
Ask you nicely.
Sometimes that happens, yeah. It could get things done.
Anyway.
So anybody who listens to this today being May 1st, Brownells has a 1 cent hazmat and free shipping.
Oh, I thought they had 1 cent Jamar and free shipping.
It's only if you're Aaron Baldwin. So, I don't know. When we find these things out, should I start posting those in the Reloading Podcast group? Like when they've got the free hazmat, especially?
Sure. Why not?
But people...
Those rules are a lot more lenient. In there, the rules are a lot more lenient.
Right. So... All right. So we do have show notes, Jim.
Okay, I'll go get them.
So first up is from DS Reese. And he says, audio seems better the last few weeks. Thanks for tackling it. I watched you get rid of mic filter thing. Caught you at a bad moment. Anyway, things seem good now. I have a question about energy or whatever else it's called to figure out the size and speed of a bullet for hunting. I can't find much info on that. If that's not really related, I understand. But it is.
Heck yes, it's really related. It's called terminal ballistics.
Yeah.
Exterior ballistics and terminal ballistics.
Don't mind the dogs. I guess we just had somebody show up, so I don't know. So Jim,
yes,
how
sir?
do you figure that out?
Well, there's such a thing called a Taylor factor. What that is, I forget the exact formula, but Mike, if you'd Google that while I'm trying to cover my tail, I appreciate it. But the Taylor factor is where you multiply the weight times the velocity times bullet diameter, and you divide it by something else. I forget exactly what the formula is. I haven't used it in a while. But it's a Taylor knockdown factor, a knockout factor called TKO, like in technical knockout. But anyway, it's a way of determining, using all these figures to create a formula to determine how much energy your bullet's going to have when it gets to wherever it's going. There's also another formula too that uses creates foot-pounds of energy. I forget how it goes also, but I know it exists. It's one that the ammo factories and the bullet makers actually use. Did you Google up the Taylor factor, Mike?
Yeah. So I found this one off Chuckhawks. If anybody doesn't know who that is, I suggest you spend some time there. It's a very good website, lots of good information. And he's, from what all the stuff I've read for the most part, unless you ask an opinion, very good at just giving you the information without the opinion from the stuff I've read. So basically, the Taylor knockout factor was intended to be a comparative, allowing the stopping power of one cartridge to be compared to another. Numerical values do not represent any scientific quantity or unit of measurement. It's like the Hornady hits or the GNS online rifle cartridge killing power numbers, albeit with a far lower correlation to reality. TKOF formula multiplies bullet weight in grains by bullet velocity in feet per second by bullet diameter in inches, and then divides by 7,000 number of grains in the pound. Formula intentionally favors large diameter heavy bullets. So it says here that didn't. Okay, so it does say that there are some discrepancies in this, so it may not necessarily be a altogether accurate. He's saying.
One of the interesting things I found out about the Taylor factor was that when you use this particular formula, you can actually come up with numbers that make the 44 Magnum at the muzzle just as effective as a 30-06 at 100 yards.
All right, so it's definitely something to check out. There's also shooterscalculator.com, which has some different things. It kind of gives you an idea of muzzle energy of various cartridges, and it has a formula on here to where you can take your grain weight and your velocity, and then it's going to calculate the energy in foot pounds and joules. So
one thing about that, you'll need your good velocity data.
Yeah, I mean he's just trying to figure out an estimate. So I mean you could use book.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, use a book for that, sure.
So where is it?
Particularly if the guy's using minimum loads, minimum safe loads, that'll can actually give you a pretty good idea as to your velocity.
So just an example, I flipped open my Lee book, and 6mm 284. So the mass is 70 grains, and the velocity is 3762. So that turns into 2,200 feet per second at the muzzle.
Is that all?
Well, it's only 70 grains.
What'd you say? It's 3740?
3762. So,
okay.
But it's only a 70 grain projectile.
Oh, that's right.
So.
And it's got a small frontal cross section too. 0.244. Yeah.
So what would be interesting to do with this, and maybe we'll play around some, not now, but because I actually don't have any factory ammo around here that have muzzle energy on it. But you can kind of compare different cartridges. So it's got a bar graph, and it shows like, Sevington, your commons, your 22 22 long rifle, 17 HMR, 22 Win Mag, 9 mil, 40, 45, 357, 17 rem, 223 rem, 762 39, 243, and then 260 308, yada yada. Let's see, 30 6, 7 rem mag, 300 Win Mag, 300 rum, which is Remington Ultra Mag, and then 338 Lapua Mag.
Rum.
So, so according to this, ours fits right in between a 243 and a 260 as far as foot-pounds. Now, the problem is it doesn't list a cartridge weight for each on the bar graft. So,
cartridge weight?
Yeah. Or not the cartridge weight, the ballistic weight. Bullet weight.
Thank you.
So. But, so just to give an idea, if we could somehow get a 155 grain 308 projectile moving at 3762, it's going to have 4872 foot-pounds of energy.
That would leave a mark.
Just a bit.
A permanent, long-lasting mark.
I don't think you're going to get a 155 grain projectile to move that fast, though.
What's the rum doing?
Rum is 4092. So basically, you're blowing everything but a 338 Lapua off the scale because that's 4938. So yeah,
Moken.
So yeah, shooterscalculator.com is a very handy. It's got the bullet kinetic energy calculator, point blank range calculator, recoil energy calculator, and then ballistic trajectory. So, it's, you know, good stuff to have. But there's other calculators out there too.
I believe it's handloads.com where I got the Taylor factor from. Cope Reynolds out of Arizona first introduced me to it, but I believe there's a real easy on handloads.com or handloader, not handloader.com. I don't think. I think it's handloading or something like that. Mm-hmm. You guys will find it. But it's right there on the very front page. I think it's handloads.com.
Calculators on here. They've got hand loading cost, ballistic calculator, energy momentum, and Taylor KO. So here is the. Okay, so let's see here. The weight in grains. We'll do 155. Velocity in feet per second. 308, 308, 308. Come on. All right. So velocity of 2909 for Varget. And then the caliber is 0.308. Calculate. That gives us an energy of 2911.
That's foot-pounds of energy. Am I right?
Let's see here. I believe so. Okay. It doesn't say, but my guess would be.
Yeah, with numbers that high, because I know the TKO goes a lot lower. A lot
The TKO lower. Is 19.
Okay.
So. But yeah, that's handloads.com. So that gives you both the energy and then the momentum. But it doesn't give you descriptions of such. So, but handloads.com is a website that everybody should have bookmarked, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't have it bookmarked, you should.
I agree.
Yeah.
And here, this is coming from the guy that couldn't remember the exact URL.
No, well, you'll get that. You know, when you've been around thousands of years, the memory starts to go fuzzy a little bit.
Yeah. Love you too, Mikey.
Jason, you still there?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Have we got to this week in reloading yet?
No, we haven't.
Okay, whenever you're ready.
So, Jim, what you been doing?
Working on getting information on how to wire my reloading room.
Yep.
My shed outside. Mike, you yourself helped me quite a bit
Mm-hmm.
just by talking to me and teaching me about how to use a tandem single pole breaker.
Yep.
How to install it to give myself more spots in my main panel. And I pretty much have decided I'm going to go with a 60 amp line, and I'll probably put it in a 100 amp box. You know, I don't really foresee, 60 amps, that's a lot of power. I don't see me doing it. I don't see me even running. I've run a welder on 15 amps.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, I don't see me for needing more than 60 amps for lights and maybe casting pot once in a while. And maybe air conditioner, maybe a heater. I don't know. A couple suggestions about my shed was one was get a ventless propane heater on the side, put it on the wall of the shed, which is not a bad idea.
Propane fireplace too. Wouldn't be bad.
That's a possibility. Well, I have a propane torpedo heater. The only thing wrong with it is it's clean. I love how clean it is. The only thing wrong with it's noisy.
Yeah, they are.
Yep.
Very noisy.
Now, that's what I've been working on, just getting information, educating myself, and getting an idea as to what I got to do for wiring the shed. First thing I got to do is get some money.
Yeah, Drew, one of the listeners, has been very helpful.
Yes, sir, he has.
With Jim and I, so I wanted to give him credit.
I can't thank him enough. He's made me a very generous offer. Very kind of him.
Yep. So that'll be huge. So yeah, Paul, I've had some houses I've helped rewire that had 40 amp fuse panels. So
oh my God,
literally 4 10 amp fuses, and that was it. So the people were amazed when we upgraded them to a 200 amp service. They're like, wait, what? So yeah. So anybody have any idea what this is?
some kind of barrel connector.
That is your gas block.
Yep.
Huh.
One piece of crap mil spec gas block.
Why? What happened?
Nothing. It works fine.
Why is it a piece of crap?
Because it's not adjustable. That's why.
Oh yes, it is. You could take electric drill and just blow that hole right out. That'll adjust it down to single shot right now.
Really quick. Yeah. So. And no, Hunter 80, it's not a low profile gas block because my transformer rail had a hard time fitting over it.
Transformer
rail from Manticore Arms. I'll show you what they look like. Hang on a second.
Robots in disguise.
Hmm.
Oh, hey, it fell through. So, what happens when you have a lot of crap in your house? And then your wife decides it's a good place to be in the garage. So this is a transformer rail. As you can see, there's a lot of holes. The beauty of this thing, it's future-proof.
What do you mean future proof?
It's future proof. No matter what some idiot comes up with, like M-lock, key mod, moron lock, whatever they come up with, that rail will use it. This is from Manicore Arms. And these are just a little snakeskin covers because I'm not using anything on this, especially this one. But
oh, okay. I see the knurling now.
Yeah, it's this here. Simply goes like that and attaches like that. And if this was a key mod or an M-lock, it would be something similar to this, but with the key mod or M-lock attachment. Simple screws, and you attach it, away you go. So, and it does come with pick rail for the top. And they send you the little panels. You know, you can get panels and screws. And here's the barrel nut. So this is actually the Gen 2 rail. Here's the nice thing is the Gen 1 had a bunch of different holes. They were all threaded holes. Screw your barrel nut on. Slide your rail on. And pick whichever screw holes lined up. This one, however, has set screw holes. Slide your barrel nut in, or you get your barrel nut tightened, slide it in, and two of those grooves line up, and you got set screws. You just run in and tighten them down. And as you can see, there's some nice channels cut in that for the set screws to go into. So, and there's your set screws. Comes with the Allen wrenches and the set screws. And you don't need a proprietary barrel nut wrench because it just uses your standard barrel nut wrench. Installs like a piece of cake. So, just fabulous for ARs.
Fabulous.
And yes, I kind of do need a shed. My landlord's got one out back that he's got a bunch of crap in, but the problem is there's no door for it and some other stuff, so it's kind of not really an option. And then this was what I put on for my gas block. So, Sequence Precision adjustable. As you can see, there's not a lot of difference in height, but there is a little bit of difference.
Mm-hmm.
And that was enough. Nice thing about this one, it's adjustable. The set screw on the side, which opens or closes the port. A lock screw on the front to lock it. And here's the best part about the transformer rail. On your standard 16-inch barrel, that gas block sits right about here. I don't have to take the rail off to adjust it. Just pop the panel out and boom. Golden. So yeah, another reason for Manicore Arms transformer rail. All right, so that's enough about that. But that's what I've done. Jason, what'd you do?
A couple of weekends ago, I went to the California Gun Owners Dinner.
Awesome.
And sat with Mr. Terry Dillashaw.
How's good old Terry doing?
He's doing good. I haven't talked to him in a while, but we've both been busy. But he's doing good. I did find out my mother-in-law went with us, and she had a ball. She wants to go again next year. But she sat next to Terry's wife, and I guess Terry's wife was asking her how I was as a son-in-law. So I guess I was being judged. So I guess I'll find out next time I ask Terry if he can come out and play if I pass the test or not. I don't know. But we had a good time. Spent a little money. Didn't win anything, as usual. And then yesterday I tumbled a bunch of brass for my 6.5. So I'm starting to get closer to reloading for that 6.5. And that's it.
Yeah, I have to unload my brass first before I can load it. So I got 50 rounds of JCAA ammo sitting over there that I gotta go and unload. So yeah, that's about it. Oh, they want to know how much my transformer rail was. Well, I'll be honest, I did not pay full price for that because I personally am a We Like Shooting patron. I got a special deal on it. However, I can tell you what the regular price is. Yeah, I've been We Like Shooting Patreon since they announced it. And not only do they have great sponsors, but sometimes you get some awesome deals. Like my first gen was a blowout and they were like $80. So, but the nice thing is about the Gen 2 also. Oh, it does come with an AR. It does come with a wrench, by the way, a barrel nut wrench, just so you know. I've just got it sitting elsewhere. But the nice thing about the Gen 2 transformer rail is not only does it come in the 15-inch, which I just showed, but they've got a 9-inch. So, and the 15-inch currently is $159.99 or $159. So, they do have a sale on the Gen 1s right now for $99 for the 15. And then they do have a 13-inch also, which is $149.99. And if you just like M-Lock period and you don't want the transformer ability, they do have straight M-Lock rails too. So anyway, that answers that question. All right. So, questions. So we answered the one already, kind of in a roundabout way, and how to calculate that. So if you go to, just to add that up, go to handloads.com. And when you get there, on the right side, about halfway down the main page, there is a thing, black title that says calculators. And then choose the energy, momentum, and Taylor KL calculator. That's the one that I use to figure out energy. And you just need bullet weight, velocity, and then your caliber in diameter in inches. So like 308, 0.308, you know. So, and then that'll give you your, and of course, you know, there's going to be certain things that are in there that you may notice a little bit of variation in, but you're not looking at much because, you know, like a 308 and a 30-06 use the same diameter bullet, but the 30-06 moves at a different rate. 300 Win Mag, same deal, you know. So you won't actually have as much of a variation as you would think. So just in case somebody has that question. All right. Second, this is from Rob. It says, "Hi, Mike. I've been using a Lyman turret press for 2 years and like it, but it's getting old pulling the handle 4 times per cartridge. We'll use the turret for rifle, but want to upgrade the progressive for pistol, 9mm 45 ACP. I've read many reviews on numerous makes and models of progressives, and it seems to me that Dillon has the best reviews and customer satisfaction, but at a price point that is hard for me to justify. It seems to me the main complaint I hear on the Lee presses is the priming system. I prime off the press, so I'm thinking this won't be an issue for me. I have looked at the Loadmaster and the Pro 1000. I don't know what I would do with 5 stations on the Loadmaster, and a 4th station would be nice in the Pro 1000. I'm not a competitive shooter and might load 1,500 to 2,000 rounds a year. I'm asking you these questions because you have a Dillon and a Lee Progressive and would appreciate your input. Thanks for your help. Take care, Rob." Given the low round count, I would kind of agree. that I don't know if you could justify the extra cost for the Dillon, but they are nice. So, Loadmaster, once you get it set up and you're done, they're pretty good until you go to caliber change and you just got to tweak some things. The fact that he doesn't prime on press anymore makes a difference. I don't know. We haven't checked out the new Lee press yet. That might be worth it. I don't know anything about the RCBS progressive presses. I really don't. The Hornady is a great press too. But then again, you're looking at a higher cost. So, but it kind of depends on what you're trying to do. For what? What's that?
Sorry. I thought you were done.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say the RCBS priming system that I saw last NRA show I went to, the priming system is filled up with 25 primers per plastic strip. And that's how you actually the little plunger for seating the primer, I believe, actually goes right up through the plastic strip. Carries the primer up into the bottom of the cartridge and goes right through all that. It didn't seem all that impressive to me.
I know RCBS single stages are, very good. Very. Right now, I'm kind of looking at the aggressive to see. So the current is the Pro Chucker 7. Let's see here. It's a 7-station auto-indexing press. So he's going to run into the same problems he did with the Loadmaster, where he doesn't know what he's going to do with the extra stations. I don't know what you'd do with the extra stations. Put in 2 powder cops, maybe? So,
think about the T7. It's set up to reload 2 calibers.
Right.
One, you do like 2 die set or 3 die set for rifle, and there is such a thing as a 4 die set for handguns. So if you're only going to load 2 calibers, the T7 is a perfect machine for that.
Yeah, this is the Pro Chucker 7 progressive.
Right,
so
I understand that.
I don't know if that would be practical, because then you'd have to figure out how you're going to hand feed the second cartridge. So,
true.
So that would be the interesting thing there. It looks like they went from a 5-station to a 7-station. Their previous iteration was a 5. So I don't.
Well, one may be for trimming. One may be for primer pocket prep.
No, you could. I don't see enough in here to really give me information on how the priming works. I'm getting the instructions here. So, but I guess if you can wait a couple weeks to get it, wait until we get a chance to test that new auto breach from Lee and see, because that may just be the cat's meow as far as people who don't load a heck of a lot but want a progressive. So maybe a pain in the butt to use. I don't know. So we'll find out. But I'm looking here at the instructions. Yes, every once in a while you look at the instructions. But I don't see spent primer tube, but it doesn't say case eject spring. So this is what they recommend for 7 if you're going to set it up. Station 1, sizing die. Station 2, expander for straight wall, no die for bottleneck. Station 3, powder charging. Station 4, lockout die for pistol calibers, or powder cop for either or. Station 5, bullet feeder tube or power for pistol, and seat die or seat crimp die. Station 6, die or seat crimp die. And station 7, crimp die, like Lee factory crimp. They didn't say that. I did. So powder measure looks like it's the standard RCBS, decent quality. It's, you know, kind of the same as most everybody else's nowadays. The rotating drum. And I don't really see squat about the primer. So I don't know. That's kind of the drawback here. I don't really see much about the priming system. So it may just use the same silly plastic strips. But
last time I looked at those strips, they only held 25 primers.
Yeah. All right. So, I don't know. I hate to badmouth a press that I don't know anything about, but if it uses those strips, I don't think it's going to make a difference because he's reloading off the press. But then he has the problem of what is he going to do? So you're basically going to have to move. The way it's set up is you do feed the case in the first state, the first spot. So you literally have to run it around 7 times. If you don't know what you're going to do with 5, I don't know if that'd work any better. So, like I said, if you can hang out for a couple weeks to let me get that new Lee, and we'll test that out and find out. That would probably be my best recommendation. Otherwise, yeah, I do not recommend the old Pro 1000. No, not at all. Yeah, it's only a 3-station, and it's just a pain in the ass from top to bottom. The Loadmaster can be a pain, but there's enough stuff out there, and it's, you know, if as long as you got the patience and you've got a tinkering mind, you can get it set up to run clockwork smooth. Are you going to load 600 an hour? Probably not. But kind of ultimately on how much you want to spend. All right. So Aaron in the chat's got a question. Just started reloading for my RPR. That'd be Ruger Precision Rifle and 6.5 Creedmoor. Only powder he could find locally was Varget. I follow the published Hornady loads. How worried should I be that it barely fills half of the case? Is there anything that I can do to compress the load or keep it in place? Well, you can use Dacron, which is that white polyfill that you find in pillows. What, cornmeal? But if it's less than half the case, I don't know. Or
I would say check his data first.
Well, let's see here. So, our Hornady. Holy crap! I went party 5. Oh, that's right. This one doesn't have 6.5 Creedmoor in it because it's the 9th. It's not special enough to be the 10th, I don't think. Oh, wait a minute. Does it? No, that's 6.5 Remington Magnum. Interesting. All right. To the internet.
Mike, the Pro Trucker 7 uses a standard primer pickup tubes.
Oh, it does. Okay, so it's like Hornady's and Dillon's then. Okay.
Glad to hear.
So in that case, depending on how their primer delivery system is, that could be good. All right. I don't know. Does Varget have the... No. All right. So let's see here. We probably want Hodgdon's website, not Hornady's. All right. We'll get it straightened out eventually. Been one of those days. Yeah, so for compressing the load, Yeah, you could use fillers. The problem with fillers, especially in a precision rifle, is they're going to fill up your barrel. And that can affect accuracy. So, I don't know. I mean, the two I know of are cornmeal and Dacron. Jim, any ideas other than those two?
Like I said, I think you better go back and check his data, because a powder like Varget, it seems like it'd do better than half capacity. I know it's a ball powder, but it's like something doesn't sound right.
Yeah, let's take a look. So he posted in the chat what his data is. Yeah, 32 to 35.8 grains is your load. And yeah, so.
Well, if it were me, if I were concerned about open space in my case, I'd use a bulkier powder.
The problem is that's the only thing he could find locally. So here is the 6.5 Creedmoor next to a 308. Not a whole lot of difference case capacity.
Nope.
So, yeesh. Yeah, I mean, ultimately I would, but I guess if you can't, the problem you're going to run into with any of the fillers, like I said, is it's going to, cause mess in the barrel. So that's going to be your biggest issue.
I know when I used filler in my 280 to fireform my cases, I had absolutely no problem with mess whatsoever.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but you're fireforming. You're not trying for 1,000-yard shot or 1,500-yard shot. Not that he's going to do that with these loads, but Dacron, or the polyfill, I guarantee you will leave a residue going down your barrel. Cornmeal, I suspect, probably should too. And it's not the first couple of shots, but if he's loading 20 rounds and playing with it, or he's loading 40 rounds and playing with it, that's going to start to build up, and it's going to start to affect accuracy.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not at 100 yards, but it definitely at 400 and beyond. So that's kind of the issue he's going to run into there. I would check, see if there's any other options you can get for powder. Honestly, even if you had to pay a $20 or $25 hazmat fee, it's probably worth it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if it's 223 and you're plinking, probably not a big deal. So, yeah, Jared says that's surprisingly lower than the charge he loads. Yeah, even my Win 748 charge was 46.5 grains for 308. So, I mean, to give you an idea, 308 Win in Varget is 46 grains. So, that's kind of a really light load, I mean, if you kind of, play around with it, like I was explaining last week, where you shake it a bit and then kind of, try and get it to lay nice and put it in the chamber very carefully. It may not make much of a difference, but without a filler or something to fill that case up more, I don't know. So I personally, with that low of a charge, I can't recommend using Varget for 6.5.
Now, the two popular powders for 6.5 are H4350 and Reloader 17, I believe. So if you can go somewhere and find those, you'd have a lot better chance of finding decent loads that you'll like.
So just in, let's see here, he's got the 140 grain boat tail hollow point. So just the 140 grain loads from Hodgdon. Hybrid 100V, H4350, IMR 4451, H414, Win 760, IMR 407, SSC, H380, IMR 4064, 4166, 4895, H4895, and then IMR 8208 XBR, which is their newer powder sensitive, non-temperature sensitive. You know, some of those are going to be a bulkier powder, especially like your stick powders and stuff. So, I mean, you're all looking about the same grains. So weight-wise, it's the same. It's just how you get to that weight that makes the difference. I mean, if anybody remembers back when we were talking about powder and I had the 3 exact same charges laid out, the exact same weight on each charge, they were not the same. So if anybody hasn't seen that, go back and watch that video. I want to say it's in the high 180s, early 190s on YouTube. I actually weighed out 3 charges of 3 different powders, the exact same weight, and laid them out next to each other, and they were completely different. So, I mean, the ball took up the least amount of space. The stick took up the most. So find a stick powder, and it's going to serve you a lot better.
Right.
Even if you go with the 4007 SSC. But that's kind of an odd duck, so I don't know if you'd be able to find that very well.
Aaron, what kind of velocity is it saying you're supposed to get? I'm assuming you haven't tested it yet. Let me know. I'm curious.
Yeah, I don't have the Hornady 10, so it doesn't have it. So, well, of course they're going to recommend Barget because they're nuts.
It's on page 317 of the 10th edition. Why don't you just tell me, Aaron? Don't make me turn around and look it up.
I don't have the 10th, so I'm screwed. So, Aaron, see this powder right here? See this right here, right here, right here, right here. Easy to find. This one, 32 grains to 35.7 grains, 2603. And it's a stick powder. Yeah, that's right, buddy. So probably is not going to be the best, but yeah, more than likely you can probably get your local place to order it in wherever you live. So, but yeah, there's quite a few different options on that. Now, let's see here. Can I get a screenshot? So yeah, I can get a screenshot of all that. So I'll add that to the show notes. Anyway. All right. So our next question. Hello, folks. I'm building a 300 AAC and thus have been researching the conversion of 5.56-223 brass into 300 AAC for hand loading. What are your guys' thoughts on the necessity of annealing the mouse of my cut cases and on annealing in general? Is the juice worth a squeeze? Thanks and happy shooting, Jim B. Jason? Annealing. Yes? No? Period.
Yes. No, period. What?
What? Your what hurt? You know, if you'd wear a hat, you wouldn't burn your forehead like that.
Oh, bite me. I do wear a hat.
And you need a bigger hat. Because you can't get your forehead.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt to anneal. Unless you do it wrong.
Yeah, if you anneal the whole cartridge, Jim, what happened? Or the whole case, what happens, Jim?
He fell asleep.
I think so.
Poor old feller's all tuckered out. He had a big day. Took the walker out, went down the block. Chased some old blue-haired women.
I think he legit did fall asleep.
Oh, we need to talk trash then.
Oh, that's comedy. Oh. It's past his bedtime, I think. Oh, man. All right. So, yeah, I'll take and put a screenshot of that in. And we'll put that in the show notes. Jason, you're not doing a very good job of talking smack.
It kind of looks like those two old guys on the Muppets that were always sitting up in the seats, kibitzing.
Dang it. I got to remember who those two guys are. Anyway. All right, that's enough of focusing on him. I don't know. Maybe he did freeze because he hasn't moved in quite a bit. And you'd think his head would be bobbing if he was asleep. Or his arm would get tired and fall off. I don't know. Maybe he froze. It's a cute look for him, though. Statler and Waldorf. Two guys for the Muppets. Yep. Jared said Waldorf is one of them. So, and M40A13 said the Hodgdon site does show Varget as a powder for the 140 grain AMAX. So, yeah, I don't recommend the Varget. So, I would say probably that ball powders are not going to work for any of your, something like that where you're going to have such a small charge and a larger case. But that's just me. So.
Ordered off Brownells tonight. Get your free hazmat.
That's right.
What was it called? Free.
Oh, let's look it up and see.
Jamar. Get your 1 cent Jamar. That's it.
Hi, Jim. Today only, 1 cent hazmat fee. Use shipping code MCR. So, hi, Jim. Welcome back.
It's a long story, guys.
Hey, old timer. How you doing? And you are?
Throwing another bird your way.
All right. So, one of the things I was going to... Fuss said, are you guys excited to see and get your hands on a Mark 7 Evolution Pro? So, yeah, according to Aaron, he said Brownells has 1 cent Jamar today and free shipping. So, whoever Jamar is, I think he's going to be pretty pissed at being sold that cheap. So, well, of course they're out of H4350. That's what all the schmucks use for 6.5.
Yep. Look for Alliant R17.
But in case anybody wants to know what 4350 looks like, there you go. Have a nice day.
That's IMR 4350.
That's what he said. Oh, he said H4350. Never mind.
H. That's what you want. H.
There you go. That's the correct stuff. But supposedly there is low data for IMR 4350 also. Any rate. Yeah, IMR 4350 also. And it looks like pretty much the same exact freaking load data as the... Oh, no. A little more. 1 grain more from the IMR 4350 versus the IMR or the H 4350 from Hodgdon. So interesting. But yeah, there's lots of different powder selections. 4895 is a pretty popular one. The IMR 4064 is a pretty popular one. You should be able to find that lots of places. That type of thing. Yeah, the 4451 is supposed to be the one of the newer styles too, the non-temp sensitive. So, not that for the most of the country it probably makes a difference, because all you got to do is just make sure you're not loading in January for August. So, Aaron wants to know if you can send that to Florida.
Yeah, Aaron told me to shut up earlier. Did you see that?
Yeah, I did. So,
and now he wants me to send him free powder. Aaron, I can't tell you what I'm thinking right now. I'm sorry.
You said thinking. I almost spit out my beer.
Okay, not thinking, getting ready to play.
Holy Jason trouble thinking, using his brain.
So before Jim locked up or froze up or nodded off because he's been doing way too much in way too little time lately, even though he's supposed to be freaking retired. The question was, hello, folks, I'm building a 300 AC and thus have been researching the conversion of 5.56-223 brass into 300 AC for hand loading. What are your guys' thoughts on the necessity of annealing the mouths of my cut cases and on annealing in general? Is the juice worth the squeeze? Thanks and happy shooting, Jim B. No. So, Jim, in general, is annealing worth it?
If you're talking about converting 5.56 brass into 300 blackout, 223 brass, 5.56 brass is very commonly available. Now, if you're talking about bench rest or something like that, that's another game. I would say, no, I don't think it's worth it.
You don't think it's worth annealing the 300 blackout brass?
Well, remember the other thing is too, that case is so short that you stand a danger of annealing the case head.
Okay.
If you don't do it carefully.
All right. I can see that. Because yeah, you could definitely see that. I don't have any 223 around though. Dang it. Where's one when I need it?
They cut it off right about the shoulder body intersection.
Yeah. So here's a standard 223 5.56. This one's actually a 223. So here's your standard case. So, and here's 308 in comparison. So you're looking at, quite a bit of difference, because I think that, what is it about there? They chop it something close to that.
Right. The intersection of the body and shoulder.
So then you're talking neck to here. You've only got about an inch left of your case before you hit the part you don't want to heat up. Jim, what happens when you heat that up?
You ruin your cartridge case, and you wind up having gas run back by way of the sides of the primer pocket.
Mm-hmm. So that's a big no-no.
I did it once. I'll never do it again.
What about annealing it before you trim it?
It would make it easier to work down.
Because you're annealing, and you're probably going to, your annealing is probably going to come down to about there anyway. So that would definitely make it you'd have less of an issue if it case hardened, and you definitely wouldn't work hardened as bad. So would it be productive though? I mean, would you really get that much more life out of it?
Probably.
It would give you something. And if you're going to the extra effort of cutting that brass and sizing it down, maybe you want to conserve it and keep it around a little bit longer if you can.
Okay.
Well, the way to prevent over annealing the case would be to anneal the case mouth, the new case mouth, and you would anneal the brass setting in water, say a half inch below the mouth of the case.
How would that work 4, what would you have to do? Use like a hand torch then to?
Yes, exactly.
Okay. So interesting.
Do I think it's worth it? No, I think as commonly available as 5.56 brass is, no, I think it's a case of diminishing returns. And don't get me wrong, if the balloon goes up and brass becomes suddenly unavailable, kneel away, guys. Different ballgame.
Yeah. So there's a few reloading shops in Florida. There's Harbor in Clearwater. There's Southeast in Daytona Beach. There's Acme in St. Augustine, Florida. There's Everglades, which it doesn't say where it is. Everglades Ammunition, which is not being nice. So, all right.
You can move to California because we got H-4350. They're practically giving it away.
Sweet. They're practically giving it away. Let me know. I'll pay some hazmat on it.
Just move here, dude. It's all good.
No, I like my 30-round magazines. And my
I like your 30-round magazines too.
Yeah. And my 15-round magazines in my SR40 and my fact that I can,
Okay, you need to shut up and get back on point, Mike, because you're pissing me off now.
No.
Well done.
Looks like Florida Guns has a reloading forum, and you can probably pop on there and get yourself some good information on where to. So, anyway, holy crap! Hook'em's in.
Hook'em.
Hook'em made it to the chat. He's still alive. Crap. Holy crap!
Holy craminy.
Oh, I'm guessing that M40A13 might be Californian too, Jason, because you took your side in that whole conversation. So, all right. So yes, annealing in general, yes. Annealing before you cut the case, maybe. Annealing after, probably not, because it sounds like it's a heck of a lot of pain in the ass for not a lot of gain. Because if you anneal it once, theoretically, once or twice, maybe 3 times, you get 3 times more for reloading. If you're going to continue to reload and reload and reload, and then you're going to continue to anneal, maybe. But given the fact that you can get 300 Blackout brass, you can actually buy it. I don't know if it's really worth it. Obviously balloon goes up, everything else is different. So, but that's a whole different story. But just to give you an idea. Come on. I hate it when Brownells is slow. Oh, so they don't list. All right. Anyway, I was going to look on Brownells and see if they had 300 Blackout brass, and my search failed. So anyway, yeah. On that note, all right. So last one says, "Hey Mike, have a suggestion after listening to the last podcast regarding dippers. I'm a big fan of powder dippers and reloads for my 30-30. And reload for my 30-30 with them a lot. Just thinking you could maybe go over calculating and or converting CCs to grains using the VMD table for those who might be confused about measuring weight versus volume. Keep up the good work." So one of the things that there is for Android, and I don't know if there's an iFail app or not, I mean iPhone app, but there actually is a VMD calculator. And I don't have it downloaded right now. But
conversion from weight to volume calculator?
Yes.
That doesn't sound like that could possibly be accurate over everything to me.
Yeah, it's relative. It's just like the chart that you get with the lead dippers, kind of gives you a basic idea.
Mm-hmm.
So, realistically, if you're going to use volume, you really need to come up with volume measurements. The Lee book actually does list volume measurements. I don't think anybody else does though. No. But this is one of those things that I'll find somebody that's probably a lot more knowledgeable in this than I am, and also one of these days we'll play around with the app that I've got.
M40A13 says pound sand. I'm Nevadan.
Well, then what do you, well, how's that universal background check going for you? That'll work. So it's Reloader VMD, and it's set up so you can use the Lee micrometer, the Lee auto disc, the double disc, the perfect powder measure, Lee load all bushings, mech bushings, Hornady bushings, Posnus Warren bushings, and RCBS little dandy. And then you can actually add your own. So, and it gives you a list of manufacturers. So like, I'm just playing around here. And I mean, you can get serious enough that you can actually put powder lots in when you're putting in powders. So,
oh yeah, there's such a thing as lots of primers too.
Yep. So,
lot numbers on primers, I should say.
But you can go through and figure this all out and different things. So, but it's got different calculators, and it tells like the perfect powder measure. Like say for number 7, you can enter your grains, and then it'll tell you. Let's lock the screen in here. So like here, if it'll focus, this is using the perfect powder measure. So it'll actually show you how to set the micrometer. So kind of give you an idea. And then you can do your own. And there's calculators out there you can find online to actually to convert. But like I said, unless you can find you find the actual way to go with the actual CCs, it's kind of a crapshoot. So, welcome, Gunrunner 357 Mag. So, brand new listener. He says just found us. He's from Kentucky. Just found our podcast like 2 days ago and found the YouTube channel. So
he's from Kentucky.
Yeah.
Hey, y'all.
Oh, way to go, Jason. You ticked off M40A13.
Yeah, well, he's from Nevada. It's not hard to do.
I suppose you guys do that a lot. Anyway. So let's see here. He says, what's that? Yeah, I would assume Brownells does too. I just didn't bother talking about the brass. I just didn't bother to put in my search parameters right, so it was a pain in the ass. But I'm sure they do. Oh, there we go. Starline 300 AC blackout brass.
There you go.
All right. It is for 500. You can get for $151.99. 100 is $30.99.
That's a little less than 30 cents a case.
Yeah. But if you're smart, you can get 223-556 for a lot cheaper than that. And then maybe if you take a couple seconds to cut it, that's not bad. Actually, Hook'em has a nice, cute little cutter he found on Amazon for like $40 or $50. That he says works pretty good, and you just got to make sure you have a sharp cutting wheel. So, hey, Jason, he's kind of close to you, only a few hours away. Elvis is in the building. Hi, Elvis.
Hey, Elvis. Oh, Elvis.
But oh yeah. So yeah. Elvis wants the T7. Yep. So see, Jason, that's a good reason to go visit him. Sportsman's Warehouse, Shields, Cabela's, road trip.
Shields, my favorite store.
Yeah, we got one in Appleton. It's about 2 hours for me. I don't make enough trip because Cabela's is 1,000 yards about 1,000 yards from me.
We have the world's or the country's biggest Shields.
Nice.
In Reno. The place is pretty fun.
Somebody was telling me that Shields had like a spam can of 150 rounds of 6.5 for like, or no, it's more rounds than that, I think. But they had a spam can of 6.5 Creedmoor for like $150.
Mm.
So, Matt from Geeks, Gadgets, and Guns was the one that told me that.
Spam can or ammo can?
Well, an ammo can, so.
Yeah, I think Sportsman's was doing the same thing. I got one of those. They're hard to find because whenever they get them on sale, they sell out quick.
Oh, I'm sure. So, I'm sure that they do. So, yeah. So, oh yeah, 180 said just use a brass or copper tubing cutter for your 300 Blackout brass. The problem you run into using a tubing cutter is it deforms it enough that it can actually cause problems. That's kind of why the nice thing is the little chop saw that Mark found works pretty good. Because with the tubing cutter, you're actually squishing it down and putting pressure on it. And so you're kind of deforming the brass a bit. So, and then you'd have to trim it long. You'd have to cut it long and then trim it down. So, and I agree, 30 cents a case is way too expensive. So, but I'm cheap. So, anyway, okay. So, like, to give you an idea, and this is something you can actually do with the lead book, is the one thing that they list in here is they list your starting grains, your volume, and CCs. So, the only thing they don't list is because they are careful, I guess, is they don't list a max CC. So, but like, they've got all sorts of different powders. If you actually get the powder dippers, they've got a chart that can be handy, but once again, you're talking weight versus volume and it changes. So, but they've got different, so like 60 grains of Varget for a 300 Winchester short mag is 4.39 cc's. So, but if you look through here, you can probably find lots of different information. So,
Mike, I got a question for you about these dippers.
Yes.
You just named a number, 4.39 cc's.
Yep.
Do they have a 4.0 dipper? Do they have a 0.30 dipper? Do they have a 0.09 dipper?
They have.
Put it over. The idea is, it would add up to 4.39.
They have different levels. I don't know what they all have. So, as far as the different gradients in them, let me see if I can. Oh, I hate you stupid computer. But anyway, so in here, case conditioning. Come on, where are you? There we go. Powder handling. So, they've got different options, and I don't see. There we go. The powder dippers, powder measure kit. The technical name for it is the powder measure kit. So let me see here if we can get. So there's 15 different dippers, and they're gradated from 0.3 cc's to 4.3 cc's. Mine's all tucked back away, or I'd read it off to you, and we've already spent enough time wandering around my garage. So, but
well, that would add up because you said 4.3 is the maximum, and
right.
0.3 is the minimum.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that would add up because you have to just measure 0.3 three times. No,
right.
That'll give you 0.9.
Well, there's 0.3, there's 0.5, there's 0.7, and then there's like 1 point, yada yada, and there's a whole bunch of different ones in there. So, I mean, theoretically, you can come up with any sort of different combinations to get where you need to get.
Well, the combination would be the easiest one to go to would be 4.4.
Right. So,
but the question is that going to make you into an overload?
Possibly.
Depending upon the powder, I would say you're darn right.
Right. So that's the one drawback to this is it does not give your max charge. It only gives your minimums. But with the chart that they give you, it does give different options. So, I should order that new one. They've got a new one that's updated as of April 2017. So I should go get one. Anyway, that's one of the things they do is they update it. So, and it gives you the weight versus the volume, or more specifically, what dippers, that type of thing. So, but I'm sure there is plenty of conversion charts out there. I just didn't take the time to find one. I'll take the time and find one and put it in the show notes, along with the link from the handloader.com site. So, but yeah, I'll put that in the show notes and have that in there. So, yeah, exactly, Aaron. He loads 270 Winchester short mag, and he says he'd like to find brass for 30 cents a piece. So,
yeah, especially that caliber.
Yeah, and it's one of those things that, depending on your brass, so. Wow. So Golden Arrow 49 says, anybody load for a 30-30 contender. Best I can do is 4 inches at 50 yards. Maybe it's my shooting. I don't know. Is that too close to... I can't see that it would narrow back up at 100, would it? I mean, ballistics are goofy, but still.
I've shot as good as, let's see, what was that group? It was like 0.76 inches, 5 shots to my 223 at 90 yards. Slightly over 3/4 of an inch. So, well, that was also with the 4-power Bosch and Loam scope on it too.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say it could be your ammo, and it could be the shooting.
What weight bullet would
be
my question?
Yeah. Again, I'm talking totally different caliber too.
Yeah, but I mean, you're talking shooting is shooting, so.
Well, shooting a contender is shooting a contender.
Right. So.
I know nothing about the contenders, but I think they're pretty good, aren't they?
They are.
Yeah, they're supposed to be. I guess my question would be whether it's the pistol or the rifle. So.
Well, I would say I'm going to take a wild guess to say the guy's talking about the 30-30 handgun.
That would be my guess too. So it's probably
the reason why I guess that is because he's talking 50 yards.
Yeah.
That cartridge should be able, in the right hands, that cartridge should easily be able to drop a deer 200 yards.
Right. Especially Jeremy talked about some loads. I don't remember what show it was, but a while back. I want to say in the 170s. He talked about some loads. So, but if you message him in the Reloading Podcast page or the group, he can talk to you about it. So, yeah, but Mark, you're a very good shot. So, that's kind of the thing we're trying to figure out is whether it's him or it's the load. Mark says I get great groups with my 243 Encore.
Mark, you don't know what you're talking about, dude.
That's beside the point. So pistol 110, 130 grain Spitzer.
Pistol.
I'd want to know what your twist rate is. Golden Arrow 49, hop onto Facebook and go to the Reloading Podcast page and post there. And one way or another, I'll get a hold of Jeremy and have him get a hold of you. And that's probably going to be the best because Jeremy's got a 30-30 load that's dead nuts at 200 yards. So, and that's 100, that's his 170 grain cast, but he spent a lot of time researching. So,
yeah, I like 170 grain cast for that caliber also.
Yeah. The biggest thing is going to be twist rate on that barrel because if your twist rate is like a 1 in 12 and you've got a 7-inch barrel, it's not even doing a full twist. So, that's kind of the problem. But
hey, can we hook him out of the chat?
No.
How do I do that? No.
Fortunately, no, we don't have the ability to kick anybody.
Can we hang up on him or anything like that? I don't.
You could call him and hang up on him.
There you go. I've got his number.
Hook him. Yeah. This is Jason Trumbo. Click.
Did Stephen Pope make it into the chat tonight?
Yeah, he did.
I believe he was. Yeah.
Yeah, he was earlier. I think he bailed, but yes, he was here because I sent him a 40-minute warning. So anyway, all right, folks, let's wrap this puppy up. No Facebook and 14-inch barrel. Okay. Golden Arrow, send me a text to 608-467-0308. And I will figure out a way to get Jeremy a hold of you. So we'll figure out a way to get a hold of you somehow. Or you can send me an email at reloadingpodcast@gmail.com. Either way. That might be the easier way because then Jeremy can respond to you from there. So, but 14-inch barrel's pretty decent. You should be able to get some decent accuracy out of it. Just got to find the right load barrel.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, folks. Thanks to everybody that has sent a email to us, especially with the contest. By the time you all hear this, we'll have drawn the winner because I will be doing it live from the NRA annual meetings on May 4th. And this will not post until May 6th or May 5th in the PM, something like that. It might be May 6th, depending on what time I get back. All right. So I want to thank everybody that sends us emails at reloadingpodcast@gmail.com. Everybody that sends us texts and voicemails at 608-467-0308. That messages us on Facebook, messages us here during the chat on YouTube, live at Tuesday nights at 7 p.m. Central. A lot more conversation goes on in the chat and the live podcast than actually makes it onto the air. So definitely good information, usually, and some shenanigans. But, send us your questions, send us your emails, send us your comments. If you like the show, leave us a review on your favorite way to listen. If you don't like the show, leave us a review too. As people heard a couple weeks ago, I read the bad ones too. Unfortunately, we haven't gotten any good ones lately, so don't have any of those to read. But,
I beg to differ with you. You wouldn't believe how often I get a private message saying, guys, don't change a thing.
Right. Yeah, I've gotten lots of private messages since then, so.
Yeah, they don't want us to change a thing.
No, and we've gotten lots of responses, but I'm talking like reviews on your podcast.
On iTunes, sure.
Yeah, or iTunes or, Stitcher, Podcast Addict, podcast app, whatever way you listen to the content. So, but, I'm probably thinking it's not the right bullet weight for the barrel. It seems to be the consensus. So, Aaron, you're welcome. Yeah, it's 9:30 there. It's kind of past your bedtime, isn't it, Aaron? So, yeah, Hookem says the twist is probably 1 in 12, and it probably is, which is a horrible twist rate for a 14-inch barrel, because you're basically getting one revolution out of your bullet before it leaves the barrel, with a little at the end. So, all right, folks. Yeah, send us email, send us messages, get a hold of us on Facebook, get a hold of us on MeWe, get a hold of us on Gun Groupie, where we actually have a Reloading podcast group. So that's for everybody. If you have questions you need answers to right away, hop on Facebook. You don't have to be a member. Swing over to the Reloading room, and you can search. You can see all the comments, all the conversations, and everything on the Reloading room. Hundreds and hundreds and thousands of posts. Oh, Golden Arrow's going to get pizza. Nice. That sounds good. Road trip. All right. On that note, folks, if you're shopping Brownells or Amazon, swing over to firearmsradio.tv and hit up the Amazon and the Brownells links. There will be a redesign to the page in the near future, too. Sean Heron's been working on it for a while, and it's going to roll out sometime after NRA annual meetings. So it'll look a little easier, and the interface is supposed to be a little nicer. You're actually going to be able to subscribe to the podcast from the page. So it's kind of nice. All right, folks. I want to thank a special group of Patreons who have the ability and send us extra money to be able to do stuff like go to the NRA convention, to buy products to test. We've got a bunch of stuff that I'm trying to get time to work on, and now that it's finally getting warm around here and I can actually spend more than a half hour out in the garage without freezing, I'm going to start to get a lot more of that done. So I got to build a little box to do all the taping in, because right now it doesn't show up really well. So I'm working on that. If anybody's got any ideas, let me know. I don't want to get too fancy with it. So
for what, Mike? I didn't catch that.
For taping, to like have a backdrop so the stuff shows up better.
Well,
maybe somebody had just said get 3 pieces, or like 3 pieces of white tag board, 1 for the bottom, or 4 pieces, 1 for the bottom, 1 for the back, and 2 for the sides, and tape them together. So have the open top. So we'll see how that works. But Elvis, we talked about that. You missed it. He was talking about the 1 cent hazmat plus free shipping Brownells today only. Yes, that's right. Midnight Eastern. So if you have something, I'm going to do some Facebook Live stuff at NRA on Saturday, other than the drawing. So if you listen to this live, or you happen to check out the YouTube video before Friday night, go ahead and send me a message on something you want to see. So
check out the progressive art. Sorry, Jason, go ahead.
Yeah, shut up, Jim. Don't talk when I'm talking. It's adult time now.
Tweet.
Mike, be sure and check out that RCBS Progressive Press.
That I will.
I want you to interview Hickok 45.
If I see him.
Big John Hickok. He is a rather large human being. Nice guy, though. Nice guy.
Yeah. If I see him, I will. So. All right, folks. On that note, keep your brass shiny.
Keep your powder dry.
And squeeze. Don't miss it. Don't squeeze. Don't yank that trigger. Yeah. Squeeze. Don't yank that trigger.
Mm-hmm.
You can edit that out.